dreams I'm having. On second thought, maybe you don't feel the same about it, but I'll try to find ways to ease the doubt and open up your eyes so you can see what I see. But until then, oh, I'll have to wait all this time, waiting for the day you'll be mine. You'll make it all okay when you make up your mind. I know it's crazy, but you're worth the waiting. Oh, darling, it seems it's now or never, so just get lost in love, lose all sense of doubt, and open up your eyes so you can see. Sit there while I tell you just how beautiful you look tonight. As if you haven't heard me say it about 100 times. You shake your head and look away. I promise that I've tried my hardest to let go of this, but every time I think about a world without you in it, my life becomes a darker shade of gray. Hey, hey, and all I wanna do is make you smile. When darkness still ensues, I wanna be your light. Whatever we go through, I'll make it worth your while. 'Cause every minute, every hour, every day I